Alright guys, welcome back to another one of my videos, and today we're here to talk about something I usually don't do very often on this channel, and that is to talk about announcements from companies and stuff like that. Like a news thing, because that's not usually what I concentrate my channel on. There's plenty of people who already do the news and stuff like that, so unless if I specifically want to talk about something, I'm not going to just cover the news. And that's exactly what we have here. This is Arcade1up news that came out at CES 2023 this week, which is always an exciting time. I love CES 2023. And I love technology in general, so it's right up my alley. But Arcade1up had some products here that we're looking at in front of us that I definitely want to talk about, that other people have been talking about, that I'm not really on the same page with them. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, is the gaming techie.
Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start this video here. So the first thing we're actually going to talk about is the Infinity game board that's sitting right here. You guys probably already know, but I do a lot of videos on, Arcade1up's Infinity game table. I've been doing reviews on all their games and stuff like that. I love board game tables like this, and what they announced here is a smaller version of the table that already exists, which is a 18.5 inch screen. So the one that I have is the 32 inch model, so obviously it's a very large screen, but it is ridiculously heavy. It is really hard to lug around. I actually brought it through the holidays, and it's really a pain to bring this thing around to the holidays because of that. So the fact that they announced an 18.5 inch is fantastic in my opinion, because now I can take this a lot easier. I'll be able to take this to my family's house and my friends' houses, and it's still a bigger, bigger than a regular tablet, so you'll still have enough room to play with people around the board, but you'll be able to take it with you a lot easier. So this is going to be a great combo for people who are really into the Infinity game table like I am, where I hope that we continue to see game releases and stuff like that, and this kind of makes me happy to see new hardware coming, because if new hardware is coming, I hope that means new software is going to keep rolling out. We actually have something to talk about with new games that weren't announced but are leaked into a video that we're going to be talking about. But this is really, really cool because it fits the need a lot of people in the community wanted. They wanted an easier way to carry the thing, and I'm definitely going to own one of these because I can't wait to be able to carry it easier to my family and friends' houses to be able to play the games that are on the Infinity game table. They recently reached over 100 games, and I hope that they, continue forward with that. But switching off of that, everything else on this is exactly, the same. As you can see, it still has the same black borders and stuff like that, just obviously in a smaller scale. This is the Uno knockoff game that they have on there that I think is really, really good, actually, which is called Oh No. So really, really portable, but there's not much else going on besides that smaller screen. So something else we got to talk about, though, with the Infinity game table is the fact that they also sent an email out to people that people have been asking for a redesign on the interface on the Arcade1up Infinity game table. If you guys look at this right here, you can see this is a picture that came in the email that some of you guys may have gotten. But what's interesting here, and unfortunately the image quality isn't good enough for me to go crazy zoom in or anything like that, but if we take a little bit of a closer look here, you can see that the interface is actually changed on this smaller scale. So obviously the assumption is that this is obviously coming to the bigger version of the Infinity game, to the 24 inch and the 32 inch that we all have here. But we've been clamoring for a redesign on the interface for a couple of years now, or however long this thing has been out, because as they now have over 100 games on this thing, it really is a pain to be able to kind of grab this on here and sort all your games, because it's just like a tap on the bottom and you have to scroll through all 100 games before you get to it, and that's just going to get worse as the problems go on. So it's cool to see on this interface here, if you look at the left here where my mouse cursor is, you can see we now have a new section over here on the left-hand side. And you have some tabs here at the top, which is great. So you can see at the top you have a My Games section. And I can't really tell what that blue area says, but it looks like it might be IGT Home is what that looks like. So it looks like we have, a separation of the store, which is fantastic. Right now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the Infinity game table, you have your game sitting over here on the left-hand side and the store sitting in the middle. And it kind of just looks like a bunch of icons together. And then you have the artwork here on the side for whatever advertisements they usually run. This is much better because you actually have a My Games category here on the top left, so all your games will be there. I can't wait to see what that interface looks like. And then you have the store home, which looks like what this is, which is the ads over here. You got newly added, which is great, so you can see what's the newly added thing. You can see what's featured by them, and you can see what's completely new to the actual store. So that's really good. And then they have these tabs up here, which are way more important. So when you go to My Games, if you own all 100 games in the store like I do, There's no really easy way to sort them right now, and I can't see what those words say, but that obviously gives you an indication that we're going to be able to sort them. Maybe you can sort them by ones that have online game play, or you can sort ones that are for a certain amount of players or certain categories and stuff like that. So this is going to be awesome to be able to sort the games, especially if the library continues to grow here. And then awesome right here is a little search bar icon, so you can actually search right there and search through your games really easily to find something on the store, which is a great additional feature as well. So this is looking really, really promising. Of course, we'll have to see when this interface actually rolls out, when this actually, if it's confirmed to come to the older tables, which I'm sure it's going to. But I can't wait for this, because this is exactly what I've been asking for them to do for a while. So good to see, even though it came out in a picture here, that this is something that they're obviously working on. The other thing I wanted to talk about here is new games that haven't been announced. So like I said, there's over 100 games on the catalog. I've done a lot of reviews on them in the Infinity game table. So as you can see, this is the old interface, the one that we all have on the table. And this is CNET's video, so credit to them, who they went hands-on with the product at CES. And if you look through these games here, you can kind of see the games that are on the store. These that are on here, we have seen before. If I hit play on here and I continue, and we pause it here, you can see the games that are on here are like Oh No and all that stuff. Games that I have already seen and reviewed are all on here. So as they keep scrolling through and going through this gameplay here, here's the first pause video that they were doing here. And there's some new stuff on here that I've never seen before, and that seems pretty obvious because these orange icons, because I've seen them before, usually mean that they're in testing and not actually out to the public. And all of these obviously have that on here. So these are some indication of what may be coming. Some of the ones that caught my eye is Rummy. That's a good one to be able to have on the table. High Card looks interesting here. This is the game of 89, I believe is what it's called, or 89 Days, which I've seen on these stores, which would be an interesting addition on here. There's some versus pinball on here. I'm not sure what these are. Mystery House with a picture of a magnifying glass. I'm not sure what that's about. Then there's an NFL one. I'm not sure what that's about. Again, we don't know if any of these will actually release or not, but it's cool. It's cool to see that there's obviously things that they're working on and to see more games are coming. Not everything that they put out in beta always releases, so this is a hypothetical situation, but obviously I assume some of these are going to release. You got a racing game here, but the ones that got me excited the most to hear more about is definitely Rummy, High Card, and stuff like that. And I don't know what this logo is. Now, obviously, I want to see more fully fledged board games like the one that they recently released, which we can't see any of those on here, like Risk and Pandemic and stuff like that. But it's very obvious they're not going to have them on. They're not going to be showing it at CES and not make a big announcement if they had another big board game coming. So I'm not surprised that this is just kind of in a leaked video, or not a leaked video, but a video from CNET. That's kind of just looking at the table and stuff like that, as opposed to like a major announcement. But it is really cool to see that we have more games coming on here as they scroll through. And there it is, 80 days that I was talking about before. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here is the, really quickly, because I'm not really big into these, but just so you guys know about them, is the new deluxe cabinets that they have on here. If we open one of these up here, these are the new deluxe cabinets that are coming out, and the biggest things with them is that there's no riser anymore. A lot of people have been asking for no more risers, and here we are with no risers. And then we also have a slanted screen, as you guys are looking at there, and then the molded coin door that we've seen in some of the other cabinets. So it's still Pac-Man and stuff like that, and it's still the same skins of Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Mortal Kombat, but just in a newer, version of it, which is great. For those people who want it. I'm not interested in these because I'm not buying Miss Pac-Man or Mortal Kombat at this point from them. But if you guys are looking at that, these are obviously made with a nicer slanted screen. We'll have to see when they come out what people say, if the screen's better quality and stuff like that. But it is good to see that they're listening to some of that feedback there. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about here is the Wheel of Fortune CasinoCade Deluxe. Now, this is technically the one that I wanted to talk about the most because this is the one that's getting the most amount of controversy online about like, oh, it's a waste of time, nobody wants this, and even grandmas aren't going to play it because the screen is too small and all that kind of stuff. And I'm here to tell you that I'm interested in this product, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why, and then I'm going to give you a reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to see how it's actually going to turn out in the end, because obviously no one's seen it, and we have some hands-on footage from seeing it as well that went hands-on with it. But let's take a look at the actual product here. So this is what it looks like here. You can see it has a nice design with, at the top here. It has two screens. So it has like an 8-inch screen on the top and then a 10-inch screen on the bottom. So that's one of the things that makes me a little nervous is that actually big enough to be able to play games like this? Is the 8-inch and the 10-inch big enough? So we'll have to see. Obviously, a 10-inch iPad has been pretty good, so I imagine this will be really good to play some touchscreen because the bottom portion of it is touchscreen, and the top is used for like some of the gameplay and stuff like that, but it's not a touchscreen. So, and then we got some buttons here at the top, and we have some lights that light up on the side, which you guys will see in the video, and then that whole thing right there, which is Wheel of Fortune. So that is how it looks like, and this is the video that they kind of brought up. see here as they scroll through that there is about 21 games on there that they've announced and 4 different slot machines. So it's not just slots, which is what I like about it. It has Mahjong on here, it has Solitaire and stuff like that, and Sudoku and stuff like that, which is interesting. I think this is interesting, and I'm going to give you a reason why, because it's pretty simple. For me, I love adding unique things into my arcade or into my home and stuff like that, and this is exactly what this thing offers, in my opinion, is a unique thing to add into your arcade. Is this going to be for everyone? Absolutely not. But for me personally, for those of you guys who watch my channel, I have a Mega Touch in my arcade, in my upstairs arcade, that people love playing. That Mega Touch and JVL touchscreen device gets the most use out of anything in that room. Everyone's always on those things, always wanting to play it. People love touchscreen games and those type of games. And I think this is kind of in that niche people who love the Mega Touch from back in the day and stuff. This is kind of speaking to me because I love adding touchscreen devices like this into my home because people seem to love playing them when they come over, and that kind of fits it. So if it was just a Wheel of Fortune and it was just Casino, I'd skip this as well. But since it has 21 other games that are going to kind of have those touchscreen games that kind of feel like they're from the idea of Mega Touch and stuff like that, and it has Wi-Fi leaderboard support, I'm kind of interested. Now, obviously, I have no idea how good the cabinet's going to be. That's going to have to be something we wait to see, because they could obviously botch the whole entire thing, and then the games on there don't play well, they lag, and they're not good enough, and all that kind of stuff. But if they do a good job with the actual games, I'm definitely going to be excited for this, to add this into my collection, and I will definitely be looking to do so, as long as it ends up being, you know, a solid product for what it actually is. So I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people have talked a lot of nonsense about it online, saying that no one wants it and stuff like that, and I just wanted to give Arcade1up the opposite perspective, that I like unique things like this. I have the Pong the Pong arcade machine right here behind me, and that was a bar top, and I was really happy with that because it was a unique thing, and this is just another unique thing from Arcade1up that I really, really like. And this is just another unique thing from Arcade1up that I really, really like, that I definitely wanted to talk about and bring you guys to your attention, because maybe there's other people like there who like to add these things, who, you know, people may come up to your arcade and be like, oh, look, it's a touchscreen device, easy to play, Solitaire and Mahjong and stuff like that. Could you get all these games on an iPad? Absolutely, but I'm not going to hang an iPad in my arcade room. So could you play these games on an iPad? Yes. But could you play the Mega Touch games on an iPad? Yeah, you could. But those Mega Touch games and all that kind of stuff feels a need for kind of filling your arcade room with cool stuff that people kind of like playing when they come over, at least in my experience, with all my family and friends coming over. So I think this is going to be definitely eye-catching, and it speaks to people who like casino games. My grandma's definitely going to come over and definitely see this and be super, super excited about it, and definitely want to play, because she loves playing in the casino and stuff. Obviously, you can't win real money or anything like it, but I still think it's really interesting, and I'm excited to see how that goes. So I'm going to leave you guys with a part of the video here that I wanted to show you guys also. The sizzle reel they kind of showed here, lower that a little bit, because they had a sizzle reel with all the products here, which kind of introduces some of the interesting stuff that we just talked about here, that they talked about in news for 2023. So it starts off with the Infinity game table there, as you can see, so it has all the games there. And you can actually catch the new design right there. If I pause it, that we were just talking about, you can see all the categories kind of spread across there. You can see last played. So actually, I just got caught this while watching the video. We were asking about how, I said in the beginning of the video, it would be interesting to see how the My Games section would look like on the Infinity game table. And there it is, right there in front of me, because on this video clip, they're not in the store home that we saw in the previous email. They're actually in your My Games. So you can see popular games at the bottom that people are popular games that are across the platform, which is cool. You got your last played, so you can see exactly what you played last, which is great. And then it looks like you got a favorite, so you can add things in order of what you actually want to play. And then again, I'd be curious on what these tabs actually say you can sort this by, but can't see that on this video because it's too small. But definitely really good improvements now that I see that whole entire thing. So really, really excited. Here's another, oh, here's a good shot. I should have watched this video before, apparently. But here we go. This is exactly what I wanted to see. We got the favorite. We're obviously exploring this together, almost like we're on a live chat here. But we got the favorite section over here. We got the A to Z, so you can sort them by A to Z. You got board games that are specifically going to take everything out that's not a board game. You got the top charts. You got connected. So there you go. They got the online games on there. You got a kids section there. And there might be a few more sections there as they scroll through it. So this is exactly what I want to see. So super, super happy with this redesign and what it's looking like. And actually, there's another answer to another question. I feel like I almost have to go back to my previous part of the video, but you guys are seeing this, hopefully. There is the shot of the fact that it's actually on the original IGTT. So there is the interface on the new one that they announced, the smaller version. And here it is on the bigger version, because it says original 32-inch IGT, and there's the new interface. So that answers that it's definitely coming as expected to both of them on here. And there's the Wheel of Fortune sizzle reel, as you guys can see here. So I really like these products that are coming out from Arcade1up, these two at least, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. So if you guys have any questions about anything you guys see in today's video, guys, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.